Hey, what's up, Roxstars? It's Rox with a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blog.
My stylist, brokenness feeling like sin, now no breath, low dollar. Used to be left on red, now all the girls go holler. Now all the girls.
You guys, I got a lot of topics today, and I am on my lunch break, so let's get through them. First story up, you guys, Jamie Foxx. Child, that Jamie Foxx has had us in a tizzy, right, over these last few months. I guess it's been about 2 months, maybe even longer than that we found out that he had had a medical episode after he was filming a movie for Netflix with Cameron Diaz. This was Cameron Diaz's return to Hollywood, so to speak, as she had kind of unofficially retired from the game, and Jamie Foxx, being a good friend of hers, talked her into returning for this specific movie. And while they were nearing the end of filming, he had this medical episode. At the time, the family just said, and the family maintained throughout this whole time, that he had a medical episode and he was recovering. Okay. And of course, we were all very sad to hear that, especially when we found out that some weeks later he was, they let us know that he was actually in a rehabilitation center in Chicago that specializes in traumatic brain injury, people who've had strokes and the such. Many of us had already assumed that maybe he had had a stroke, and maybe they wasn't really sure how. I mean, you guys know how debilitating a stroke can be, especially if it was super serious. You know, even if you don't lose your life, you can lose your sight, you can lose your ability to walk, to talk, to function, you can be paralyzed. I mean, there are many, many things that can happen as a side effect, or I don't know if that's considered a side effect, a cause, or what happens as a result of having like a major stroke. But the family never said what exactly it was. We did see the family going in and out of this rehabilitation center. We saw his baby mother's, bring baby mother bringing the youngest there, the oldest going in and out, sometimes with a guitar. The youngest one, she's musically inclined like her father. And so, we were like, okay, he's there and he's recovering. Okay. When the daughter said, there's so many lies that's going around, and he was just playing pickleball yesterday or whatever, we thought that was interesting because, what was his name? Tornay, you guys know who I'm talking about. The black thin guy that talks a lot. Torre, I think his name is. Anyway, he had came out maybe that day before she had the statement and said that he wasn't doing well, and that everybody was worried that he was going to die, basically. This is layman's terms, okay? Not the specific quote. So she had came out and said that he was playing pickleball, he was doing well, and I was just like, bullshit, he was not playing no damn pickleball unless he was playing on video. I don't know, you guys, the story has been very strange. I know everybody is maintaining. I am definitely one of those people that feel like people should be able to have their privacy if they say that they've been ill, if they've said, it's their life. So listen, if they want this privacy, then, they can ask for it. But I am also of the belief that when you are a public personality, and when you share yourself and your life, it's not crazy to think that your fans and people who love you and who support you would want to know what was going on. That's just the world that we live in today. Social media gives us everything else, and so yes, people, even though people want to maintain their privacy, there are going to be times when people want to know what's going on, especially when you are as well loved as Jamie Foxx is. Okay, mama named him Eric Bishop. We love Jamie Foxx. We want the best for him, and people were genuinely concerned. It wasn't always, some people are nosy, and other people just want to know that he is getting better, and what is happening. So it's just been sort of like, I just was like, okay, if the man, this is a strange way to handle things in my opinion, but if that's the way they're going to handle it, fine. But I also feel that when you don't explain what happened and you are such a well-loved personality like Jamie Foxx is, you leave it open for people to speculate. And maybe they don't care that people speculate, because you can always speculate. You still don't know the true full story. And I think that that's what they want it to be. But the way that they are now unveiling Jamie Foxx is just strange to me, and it raised a different eyebrow. See, so this eyebrow was the medical episode, maybe had a stroke, you know, that was debilitating eyebrow, but this eyebrow is different. I was just like, okay, so we saw him on TMZ. They had posted a video of him sitting on a yacht. And he was waving at people. You know, people had noticed that he was sitting up there. I mean, he was definitely out on the yacht for people to see. Folks noticed that it was Jamie Foxx. They were screaming, yelling. He waved at the people. However, I saw when he was sitting there, I was like, he kind of looked like he's propped. He had his leg up. He didn't really move other than to wave at the people. You know, we didn't see him walking or anything. So then I was just like, well, maybe he could have had a, you know, because there was a rumor at one time that he was blind and that he was paralyzed and all that. So then when I saw him and he kind of looked propped, I was like, well, maybe he did have a stroke. Maybe he was, you know, had a stroke. Maybe he is paralyzed from the bottom up. I was happy to see that his hands and arm, you know, that he was moving up top. I was just like, because this man is talented, and, you know, the world still needs to be able to hear his voice and see him sing and play the piano and all that. So then I was just like, okay, well, maybe that's what that was. But then some people had feelings that that wasn't him. Of course, they were going on and on. He's been cloned, and, you know, something about his mouth area was a little different. I felt like his teeth looked strange, but it wasn't a super clear video. So I was just like, oh, I think that's him, but okay. Later on, the next day, but later on that day, apparently, he was also caught at Top Golf. Somebody videotaped him returning like one of the golf pucks. Is that what they call them? The pucks to the no, the golf, you know what I'm talking about. These things here. He was returning it to the little where they collected them at, and I saw that video and I was like, oh no, that's definitely Jamie Foxx. Okay, he had the walk, he looked like him, the build and everything. I was just like, that's him. And so then that's when that other eyebrow came out. I was just like, Now this is going to be the part where you guys get upset with me and say that I'm infringing on his privacy and that we shouldn't be sitting around and trying to guess what illness somebody has. I got all that, you guys. But I am just going to give you my opinion, and we just go from there. I honestly feel like now that we've seen him not only at Top Golf, but also driving in the streets of Chicago. Well, he wasn't driving, he was a passenger, but this time we saw him actually get out of a vehicle and help a woman who had dropped her purse, okay? Which was a strange thing to do. You're driving, you see somebody drop a purse, and then you get out, and I don't know, it's just, the whole welcome back Jamie Foxx tour has just been odd. And when I saw that, I was like, okay, now for sure this is Jamie Foxx, no cloning. Okay, never did I think that he was cloned anyway. But for sure now we've got close-up video of him. We saw his face, he's smiling and all of that. This is Jamie, okay? And my opinion was, okay, the medical episode, in my opinion, probably was like there may have been some sort of accidental, let me see if I can put this as politically correct as I can. Some accidental acquisition of some pharmaceuticals that were of the illegitimate or illegal type, that possibly placed his health into a category where it was dire straits and immediate attention needed to be done, because they felt as if their subject would possibly expire if they did not get to the what should I say, the solutions that would make them be back whole again. You guys understand what I'm saying? You know, I feel like there may have been some sort of accidental ingestion of something that had a bad response in his body. And, you know, we don't like to hear that our favorite celebrities might be doing these type of things, but the reality is that a lot of them do. And a lot of times we don't realize it until something bad happens and they're no longer here. But there are always those times when wonderful things happen and they're saved and they're allowed to try to correct whatever the problem is. I mean, we saw this happen with Lil Wayne. I will always say that I think that that time when Lil Wayne was in the hospital, he was having seizures after seizures, and they really thought that remember they had announced that he had died. I remember actually talking about it on Top of Blocks years and years and years ago. But I think that it was really a bad situation at one time, and Lil Wayne was looking like he wasn't going to make it, but he pulled through. I think also that time when that happened with Lil Wayne, I think that that's what made him finally get off of, you know, because we knew that he was addicted to the scissorp, sipping on some scissorp, sipping on some sip. We know that he was addicted to that. He had already told us that it was a hard time for him to get off of it. He said that it would give him just the withdrawals were horrible. He would have bad pain in his stomach and all of that. So he was fighting, he was battling that demon, and that scare is what actually, you know, that's when we started to see Lil Wayne actually look like he was not doing that any longer, and getting his health back together. And it might be the same for Jamie Foxx, you guys. It's a reality. I don't think that it is. I mean, I understand why they wouldn't want to announce stuff like that. Not only the fact that it's his own privacy, but, you know, Jamie Foxx is a celebrity that has many, I'm sure has multiple deals either in the works or already in the can, or, you know, there's things that he wouldn't want this negative attention on his projects, what he's working on, what's coming up, or anything. So I think that they wanted to make sure that they kept all that low so that none of that would be, you know, none of that would be changed. Do I think at one point they did think that something bad was going to happen, like he wasn't going to make it? I do believe that. I believe that. But once they got him and got him together, I believe, you know, now we've got our Jamie Foxx that we know and love again. Even when I see him walking in the videos, it doesn't look like he's injured in the way that, I mean, like, you can see he can walk, you know, he can do things, but it still looks like, I can't even explain the way it looks. It almost looks like it's very intentional. Like, you know, you just walk and you just casually doing things, but when it looks like you are making a point to, you know, kind of like walk one foot in the, it's hard to explain, you guys. And again, none of this really matters. It may not be true. Okay, this is just my opinion. And again, I know people are going to be upset that, you know, we are weighing in on the health, but it's just the reality, you guys. It's a celebrity. The same with Madonna. Now, Madonna has come out, even though there are rumors that Madonna did have a drug episode, something happened, because they said that they had to give her that drug Narcan, which I know of that drug to revive you when you've overdosed, because we've heard about it when they tried to give it to what's the rapper, the white guy that overdosed? You guys know who I'm talking about. I can't think of his name. It starts with an M. Can't think of his name, but you guys know, I remember them saying that they tried to administer it to him. I know that they administered it to Demi Lovato when we thought that she was dying. She actually was dead. I think that she was dead. They revived her. Clinically dead, you know. But so I think that may have been what the issue is. Take it or leave it. It may totally be incorrect, and, you know, but I just was like, I'm just gonna tell you guys how I feel about the whole thing. At the end of the day, I am very happy to see that Jamie Foxx is out and about doing whatever the hell it was. Whatever the fucking problem was, I'm glad that they fixed it and that we have him. Okay, because Jamie Foxx to me is a treasure. I feel like he is something that we would have felt if we would have lost him. Okay, so I'm just happy to see the man. I'm just happy to see the man. I hope you guys don't see this as me being messy and just putting out rumors on him. I mean, some of you guys I'm sure will, but I'm not. I'm just giving you my opinion on that. You guys are welcome to give your opinions. And all of that, just leave it below. But happy to see you again, Jamie Foxx. Let's continue with the healing train.
Go follow. All the fake friends gon' pile up. I need peace to borrow. Get that shit right back tomorrow. Somehow.
All right, you guys, next story up. The problem that is Joseline Hernandez. I've talked about Joseline plenty times, you guys. You guys know that Joseline was one of my favorites on Love and Hip Hop, especially the earlier seasons. I just felt like Joseline was she wasn't, I don't know if I felt like she was like a talent. Like, I still don't think that she's a rapper or a singer or anything that she was trying to do, but her personality is, she has a very large, engaging, she has one of those personalities that people are drawn to, whether it's negative or positive. Okay. And I was happy to see her using that to her advantage, even when she got off of Love and Hip Hop, but we did see that ego was getting bigger with each season, as not only did I feel that way about her, but many other people felt that way about her. And she was able to, she took that and head just blew up. Fell out with Mona Scott, went over to Zeus, got her own show. And Zeus just breeded a monster. The fact that Joseline Hernandez, that video, if you guys haven't seen it, go on. I mean, I saw it on Neighborhood Talk, but it's all over. If you go and watch the video, that was the body cam video footage from one of the arresting officers that took her when she got into the fight behind the stage at the Floyd Mayweather, and that fight that they had. Remember, they had that exhibition fight that she actually performed at. The video is alarming for a few reasons. I mean, it's obvious and Joseline has already confirmed with us that she has had a drug problem. You guys reminded me that she did when she admitted, when she performed recently somewhere, that was her first time performing sober. So that would lead you to believe that any other times that we've seen her up on the stage that she's been high or drunk. Okay. So we know that Joseline has battled a drug addiction for many years. I mean, there's video of her completely out of her mind back in the day when she was with Stevie J and all of that. She got on a health kick and at one point, and once she left Love and Hip Hop and she moved down to Miami, she got with the guy that she's with, that Ballistic guy, and she was on this health kick, and it was looking like she was turning her life around and things were just going well. And then it just fell apart, and it's because of her ego, you guys. There's no accountability, in this day and age. And I will admit that I am a part of this problem as well. We watch people on these reality shows and we are entertained, and, we laugh at the shocking shit that they say and do and all of that. And we forget that this is like a person's real life, or not necessarily their real life, but their real life can be affected by the way that they're portrayed on a reality show. And Joseline, every season, we just saw it getting worse and worse. I mean, it finally got to the point where it was really, truly like pimp mentality. She's the pimp, the girls is the hoes, she's talking to them crazy any old kind of way, and expecting these women to just sit around and kowtow to her and listen, even though Joseline is fucking scary, okay? But just all of that, you guys, it's our fault. We've created this monster in Joseline, and then when she went over to Zeus, like I said, there's no accountability. There's nobody to tell her that she's wrong. I mean, she be out there fighting and her man be right next to her. Okay? I mean, I'm not mad at the togetherness of this union or nothing, but what I'm saying is, like, who is going to get Joseline and tell her, like, listen, you need to stop this. It's not a good look. You are a mother, okay? You have a baby daddy who is not above trying to take this girl from you. Of course, Stevie J has his own problems right now, but you know what? Stevie J is on the come up again because he's about to get the settlement from Faith Evans from their divorce. So you just don't never know. She might be put in a position where she might have to give up her daughter, you know? And this is the proof that he could show when he go into the courts. I mean, that video is so. I told you guys that if I ever needed somebody, if there was somebody, one person that I can choose that would be my backup if I was going to go beat a bitch ass, it's gonna be Joseline every time. That girl is strong as fuck, like a goddamn Tasmanian devil or something. And it was awful to see. It was embarrassing. She was out of her mind. I mean, the things that she was saying. You shut up, bitch. Don't talk to me. Don't nobody touch me. Shut up, bitch. I don't want no white motherfucker touching me. You will not have a job tomorrow. Don't talk to me. Get off of me. You won't have a job tomorrow. Take on my legs. It's just sort of like Joseline. It was so crazy. My heart was hurt to see them have to manhandle her like that because they didn't even want to do it. At the very beginning of that video, you heard somebody say, tell her to go home. Okay? Tell her to leave. If she would have just left, I think that they wouldn't even have tried to take her in. But the fact that she was like, shut up, bitch. I don't want no white motherfucker touching me. You shut up, bitch. Now you got a problem. We trying to talk to you. We trying to tell you to go. You won't leave. Okay, so then of course they had to manhandle her. They got her down on the ground. She fought back the entire time. They just wanted to handcuff her, okay, just so they can get a little bit more control over her. I'm just like, Joseline, these are people with guns. This ain't top flight security of the world, okay? These are police with guns. You already know, as black people, I know some people don't say that Joseline is black, but Joseline, as a black person, you don't need to be in this position where you are trying the officers. Like, that is already the first wrong thing. And if you didn't realize that, you know, that's a problem in and of itself. But her baby can be taken. It's a bad look. It might be a good look for her show because I know that people that view her, watch her, like to see that kind of stuff. But really, it's just an awful look. You are strung out on drugs or alcohol or both. And next day, she's at the Breakfast Club joking around about it. Like, she's not even really serious about what has happened to her. And I don't know what. It's a problem, though. It is definitely a problem because eventually all this is going to catch up with Joseline. Y'all know, anybody that's been watching me any length of time, I want Joseline to win. I think that she loves her daughter. I do. And I think that she is a good mom to her daughter. You know, we see her daughter, her daughter always looks nice when she has parties for her. She goes all out, you know, and her daughter is treated like a little girl, dresses her like a little girl, all of that, you know. And so I just was like, you are really putting all this in jeopardy, Joseline. And what is it that needs to be done for her to realize it? She needs to go to somebody's rehabilitation center and fast. Like, she needs to be, because even though people really like this Joseline, I think that people will like sober Joseline even more. The one that finally comes out on the other side of this. You know, we've seen her start, we saw the downfall, and then we're gonna see the come up. That's what I really want for Joseline. Do I think we're gonna get it? Not the way that she's moving right now. Not the way that she's moving right now. I just don't think that she's taking it seriously. But that video was alarming. Like, I was just like, oh my God, she's possessed. You know, it may even be some mental issues there. I'm not putting that on her or nothing, but this is something that a therapist needs to work out, okay? A psychiatrist with medication and stuff, so we can try to see if, you know, what exactly is it that we need to do to try to help Joseline through this very troubling time. And if her man is not going to, because like I said, I thought that he was the type that was going to check her because that's kind of how he was at first. But I don't know. It seemed like maybe his ego didn't even got as big, if not bigger than Joseline. So he be like fighting, and and listen, I'm here for a man being there for his woman and everything, but we don't need you out there beating other women's asses. Okay? You out there fighting women, like what does that look like? So I hate to see it, you guys, because it just seems like it's just getting worse and worser and worser. Shout out to Future. I don't know what needs to happen other than the girl needs to go to rehabilitation quickly. She needs some rehab. She needs some counseling. She might need some medication. We need to do something though, you guys, because Joseline is a scary, scary, scary individual. What y'all think?
My fans go bravo, smile so much to hide my sorrow, stay this shaky and vibrato.
All right, you guys, next story up, Aretha Franklin and her wills. Okay, so if you guys have been watching, there has been a lawsuit that's going on. The court case actually just finally wrapped up over the wills of Aretha Franklin. She had a estimated around $80 million estate. And there was all this hoopla and this fight over whether or not these two wills that were, so she had, let me back up. She had a 2010 will that she wrote out, handwritten herself. I guess she was maybe trying to just get her thoughts out on paper, what she wanted. So she wrote it out and all. She signed it with an A with a happy face, which is what kind of like signature for her. People knew that was always her signature and everything. So after it had been deemed that it was authentically her handwriting, her signature, they had that. They also had under lock and key a 2014 will that was notarized, and there were people that said, or one of her sons, Teddy White II, said that is the will that they needed to go by. I don't know what was on either one of these wills, even though they say that she was saying that, her estate needed to be separated. Needed to be broken up basically between the four boys that she had. But I don't know what the particulars were. But like I said, Teddy White II wanted to go only by the 2014 will, and then she had two other sons. What are their names? Kevin and Kecalf, Kecalf. I've never heard of that name, you guys. I don't even know how to say it. But they were saying that we needed to go by the 2010 will. Now, the 2010 will, y'all know how us old people, not us, because Roxanne ain't doing this, but you know how our grandparents used to be, by their intricate filing system that they would have, either in the cushions of their damn couch, underneath their bed, in the wall somewhere, a little trap door in the floor. Back in the day, we might not have had access or even trusted the banks. So we made do with the shit that we had at the house and made it work that way. And Aretha Franklin, even though it was 2010, that is how she stored away that will. She shoved it in the cushions of a couch, and her grandchild, I believe one of her grandchildren or her niece or something, found it when they were cleaning her home after she had passed. Okay. And so they decided that they were going to fight it out in court. The two ones wanted to go by the 2010. The other son wanted to go by the one in 2014. She has a son, Clarence, who is, he lives in an assisted living facility. So I'm assuming that Clarence has some medical issues, some health issues as he's gotten older. And so he didn't participate in any of that. But it was the two brothers against the one. They did go to court, and when it was all turned over to the jury took only an hour to deliberate, and they came back and said, you know what, we're gonna go by both of the wills. Okay. I was just like, that's how a mama do it too. You know what, everybody getting their ass whooped, since don't nobody want to tell me what's what around here. So now they're going to go by the two wills. And, there are going to be some things that they cut out, I guess, of that 2010 will. But for the most part, they're going to combine the wishes in both her 2010 and her 2014 notarized will and make it happen that way. The two brothers that were hoping for this scenario, at least at making sure that the 2010 was included, they were very happy. Teddy White is upset. Okay, Teddy White actually feels like he should get everything. I know that I don't know the ins and outs of Aretha Franklin's family, but there's always been quite a bit of rumor that her family has kind of made it like they never were good at managing money and spending money and taking advantage of Aretha's money and, like all of that. And so, yeah. Now, I told you guys that it was an $80 million estate when all this first started. After, settling past debt, settling her tax issues, because when you owe the IRS that kind of money, even after you dead, now we gonna still get our money because we got the estate to deal with. So from her not paying her past taxes and all of the legal fees from all of this fighting and bickering back and forth in court, they said that money is down to $6 million. Okay, which is still a lot of money, to you and I. But when you talking about you had 80 million and we didn't whittle it down all the way to 6 million, and the brother is still the son is still saying that he is going to appeal, and they're going to end up having more legal fees, you guys. When it's all said and done, it might not even be no money left for them to fight over. And this is the sad thing about when you die. You have this legacy, you worked this hard life, you did so much to provide for yourself and your family and all, and then the shit is just gone over fighting and people thinking that this should be how it's worked out. It's too bad. It is too bad. So yeah, 6 million, but appeals and all that, I'm telling you, that money, by the time they done, it's gonna be a million left, maybe, So, but the two brothers are very happy. One of the brothers was on record saying he loves his brother Teddy with all of his heart. But I'd already told you, Teddy said fuck them. He think he should get everything. So, and I don't know why Teddy feels that way. But like I said, there is a lot of rumor and stuff around about Aretha's kids and how they just kind of was always feeling like they should be able to blow through her money and do stuff too. So yeah, but the court said, yeah, everybody just listen, we gonna go by both, since she did say both of those are hers. So, and this is just a reminder for us, including myself, that I keep on saying that I need to sit down, me and Mr. need to sit down and really, distinguish and decipher what we want to happen. Even though I would like to think that my kids would be able to figure it out, it's always best when you just get it in writing so that there's nothing to fight about, So yeah, you guys, but anyway, that's the story there. Aretha Franklin's wills, we gonna go by both of them. I can't stay down too long. For you guys, next story up. This story is actually, even though it's pretty interesting, this only really is going to affect my Atlanta Roxstars. South Fulton Mayor Khalid Kamau, Kamau. It's so funny because I live in South Fulton, but I don't live in the city of South Fulton. I live in South Fulton County. But this man is not my mayor. Well, I guess it's so weird. I couldn't even tell you if he's our mayor or not. Yeah, I guess maybe he is, even though I don't live in the city of South Fulton. I live in College Park. But I live in South Fulton. Anyway, child. Mr. Kamau was out early last Saturday on a drive/dog walk. And he happened upon this property over in Cascade, Palmetto. If you guys are familiar with that area, is near, you're almost in Fayetteville. And there was this property that he wanted to go on. There was a very clear sign that said no trespassing. However, he pulled his car over apparently and got out of the car and walked onto the property. with the intentions of going into this home that looked like it had been abandoned. Well, the owner of that property has 2 homes on this property. He has a bigger house that he lives in, and then he has this smaller home. I guess maybe you could call it a guest home or a second home, or what. It was his damn home, okay? Which is why he had the no trespassing sign there. Nobody lived there, but it's still his house. So he has a mechanism on his phone that alerts him when people are crossing over onto his property. He said he got a notification that somebody had passed on and was walking up the driveway. He looked on the camera. He said he could see the person walking into the house. He jumped into his truck, but not before he grabbed his handy dandy gun, and he proceeded to go down to the house. When he went to the house, he saw the man, Mayor Kamau, in the house, and he was just like, "You not supposed to be here," okay? And I guess Kamau told him he thought the house was abandoned or whatever, but I think that the conversation was not quite so docile. I think that it was, well, first of all, the owner's probably pissed, not really sure what you planning on doing, a little scared, a little anxious. It's a whole lot happening here because we know the world that we live in, right? So you don't know if you're going to have to shoot a motherfucker today. Okay, what you do know is I got a gun. That means do not move. I'm gonna call the police and we're gonna let the police work it out. He said that the mayor actually told him, "Do you know who I am?" Okay, you go in and call the police and I'll wait, and then we'll see what happens when my police get here. You know, so he was, I guess, trying to tell the man that he was the mayor, and this man don't know this nigga from Adam. Okay, and so the man was just like, yeah, no. The man said that the mayor had then got so up in his feelings or whatever that he started to walk away. And the man said, "Listen, if you move, I'm going to shoot you." And he says, "You going to shoot me in my back? Whatever way this bullet get to you, that's how you gonna get shot if you don't fucking stand still." Okay, so when the police got there, and I guess Kamau was probably like, now they here now, let's see what happened, what you got to do now with you and your gun, and what you about to do, like you gonna shoot somebody. Yeah, the police got there, and what did they do? They arrested his ass. They was like, "Hey, boss, listen, we got to go by the law. We can't go by because you the mayor. And the law say if this is private property and you have trespassed onto private property, we got to arrest you." So that's what they did. They arrested him, criminal trespassing, and I think criminal attempted robbery. I guess maybe just break-in, theft, and entering. I don't know what the robbery part was, but just ridiculous, you guys. I'm thinking to myself, like, if you gonna be a mayor, I would expect you to have just general knowledge of basic laws. I mean, hell, we don't know the ins and outs of shit, but we know what no trespassing mean, right? That means stay your ass off of it. No trespassing. So the fact that he saw that and still, because he told he told his police that, yeah, he did see the sign. However, he thought that the house was abandoned. Okay, well, you play foolish games, you win foolish prizes, right? Take that ass to jail. Of course, they booked him and everything, and then he was released on $11,000 bond. And then, of course, here he comes stupid out the damn police station. Like, hey, y'all, how y'all doing? I just want to get back to, serving the people of South Fulton County. And, it was all a misunderstanding and everything is okay now. Y'all get on back to your lives. We ain't got to worry about it. I wasn't trying to steal. I was just like, yeah, that's embarrassing. As a mayor, you should know better. You are not a 14-year-old kid riding a bike down the street with their homeboys and decide to go and, just be nosy in somebody's house. You're a grown-ass man who is the mayor, an elected servant of the community, and you up here breaking and entering in people's houses. Yeah, I'm gonna need the mayor to do better. Okay, that's all I had to say. But the story was just funny to me because I was just like, you gonna go off on the people when this man clearly told you are on my property. It seems like the first thing you would have been very apologetic. Like, first of all, I understand that you want to call the police, and I'm sorry. I don't even know if the man would have been like, no, let's not press charges, if he would have been more apologetic. But You gonna show your ass after you the one that's 100% in the wrong? Okay, no, you fixing to go to jail. Do you know who I am? You gonna shoot me in my back, nigga, whatever way the bullet come, baby. Whatever way it hits you. Back, ankle, leg, stomach, head. Okay, you in my house. So, yeah, work that out. Come on, I'm gonna need you to understand where you can and can't go here in South Fulton County.
Running from pain, running from strain, running from things, running from schemes.
All right, you guys, next story up. So this is really fast. So Mark Daly, Kenya Moore's ex-husband or ex-husband to be, they are still trying to go through this divorce. I was like, this is the longest fucking divorce, and you guys weren't even married this long. They've been going through a divorce longer than they have been going through a marriage. Okay. And it was a marriage, I mean, if you want to call it that, because we never really saw them in full like marriage mode. It was that one season was so disastrous and embarrassing for Kenya. I can't even imagine them ever really liking each other, you guys, but that's neither here nor there. Like I said, we know that Mark Daly made things very difficult for her as far as Brooklyn was concerned, because he just salty and he asshole and all of that, and he didn't want the baby to be on the show. He felt like that was that her privacy should not be besmirchified by putting his young baby on the show. So they fought over that amongst a whole bunch of other stuff, but then they finally agreed that, okay, Kenya can have the baby on the show, but it's only going to be on kid-friendly type of scenes, and, that she would only have the baby on the show when it had to do with something with the kids, or, and especially not to put her in any type of harm. Well, this is her daughter. Obviously, she's not going to put her in a position where she feels like she could be harmed. She is going to protect her child, but you know what? Get it on paper. So, okay, fine. Now, the scene in the Birmingham episode when Kenya's supposed to be performing down there in Birmingham, remember when Marlo and all them was banging on the door trying to get Kenya to come out, and Kenya actually said with her own mouth how Brooklyn was scared and was like, oh my God, mommy, what is happening? Who is that out there? Well, Mark Daly obviously saw that scene as well and felt like it was a violation of the agreement that they had, because Kenya said with her own mouth that her daughter was scared, which means that the daughter felt like she was in danger, even if she wasn't. She clearly wasn't. Marlo is not going to do anything to that child, and none of the other girls were either. However, this was perfect for Mark to be able to use. Like, see, this is exactly why I don't want her on the damn show, because, you got ghetto ass, mean ass, big ass bitches out there banging on the door and scaring my daughter. My daughter should be able to get a good night's sleep. Okay. And so, yeah, this was one thing I'm sure Kenya didn't need. I don't think that, obviously Kenya's not going to lose her child over something like that, but I do believe that maybe if he continues to have these type of, like, this kind of proof that the baby might be seeing things like this, he may be able to work it out so that Kenya won't be able to have Brooklyn on the show anymore, which will be too bad, because, we like to see, that's one of the moments that I actually like Kenya the most, is when I see her in mommy mode. It's so clear that she's happy with her daughter. She loves her daughter. I think that little girl did turn around some of the ugly parts in Kenya. Some people don't like to admit that Kenya did have ugly parts. She did. Okay. And I guess nobody's perfect, and everybody got their shit that's fucked up with them, a little bit, some kind of way. But I do believe that this little girl has helped change some of Kenya's perspective and outlook. And so I would hate to see her removed from the show, because it's one of those times, and I won't say rare, but it's one of those times where we actually can just look at Kenya and smile and see her with her daughter and laugh. I love that kind of thing, the mama and the daughter, and that just warms my heart, you guys. So, so yeah, it's too bad that, Mark is going to use that. I just wish this Negro would get whatever the hell he wants, because he say that she's making it longer. She say that he's making it longer. I don't know who the problem is, but like I said, I don't know why we got to be going through all of this. Did they even own anything together? Her home was her home before she got with him. He had his restaurants before he got with her. So it's just like, what exactly are they, what is the problem? Like, what is the issue? I couldn't tell you. I'm sure that it's out there, it's public record and everything. But I just that's a hypothetical slash what's the word when you just ask a question but you ain't really asking it, but you asking it. Y'all know what I'm saying. Anyway, I just wanted to let y'all know that Mark said, "Damn it, if my baby got to be seeing shit like that, she don't need to be on the damn show." What you guys think? Does Mark have reason to complain, or is he full of shit?
I can't hold a frown too long. I can't stay down too long. Look, running from pain, running from strain, running from